Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is STREETTOVICTORY, and welcome to another podcast. So, today we're gonna do a little bit different kind of podcast because I didn't write any notes now, so I'm doing this kind of freestyle. And I thought, you know what? Let's ask myself a question. And this question would be, what is the purpose of life? Well, maybe a lot of you guys already thought about this question, and the answer is pretty much difficult, and everybody has kind of a different answer to it. So, where should I start? What is the purpose of life? Um, well, for me, it's basically, so this is my opinion. For me, it is definitely living or doing what you love to do and making a happy life with that what you do. And I have this sentence. I have it from a, hold on, what does he do? He's like a speaker, and he talks about stuff with living and dead, and he says he can communicate with dead people or like spirits of them. It's he's not he's a really great guy, and I was writing to him, and his name is Pascal Vogenhuber, and he lives in Switzerland, as I remember. And I wrote him on Instagram, and then we talked a little about it, and he said exactly that. Like, do what you love and make a happy life out of it. So, what do other people think about it? So, maybe a lot of people, they don't even answer this question, or they don't even think about this question. But I think this question is really important to find your purpose in life. Because when I ask other people, what is your purpose in life? Maybe my friend circle or people I know, and sometimes they answer me, do my work and get successful in my work. And then I ask them, do you love your work? And they say, well, it's not that I don't like it, but I also don't love it, as you said. And I'm like, is this your purpose of life? And then he says, well, actually, there would be a lot more, but I just don't know what to think about right now. And then I say, well, think about it. Before you go to sleep, think about it, because then you have the time for that. And, well, or sometimes people just look at me like, why would I need this question? I say, like I said, to find your purpose and to find something that makes sense in your mind, because sometimes people they don't see the bigger picture. When I ask somebody, look, what is your dream? Then they say, let's take for example a musician. They want to do, like I said in my other podcasts, rap music. And then I say, why don't you do it? And then they say, because of the circumstances, because of the money, because of family, because blah blah blah, etc., etc. And then I say to them, look, why would that stop you? And they just say, I'm also a little bit lazy and anything. And then I say, look, you don't love it enough if you're not willing to put the work in it. Look, if you want something, you gotta work for it. You gotta do something. For example, the driving license. When I did the theory test, I also had to learn for it, because I know I want it. I want the driving license. I'm still doing it right now, but I have the theory already. So you also got to learn. You got to learn the stuff there. And this is the exact same thing you want to do in your passion, and that what you love to do. Because I say, look, you want to do rap music, and that guy who I asked, just an example, as I said, he can rap some pretty good lines. Clearly he's not the best freestyle and blah blah blah, but he's good, and he has a good basic because he has this past that fits together and everything. And then I'm kind of put the work in it. And I ask him, what are the circumstances? Because you say that circumstances would be something bad. And he says, dad, family, and not everybody would like it. People would love me. And I say, look, if you want it, don't think that way. That's the wrong way of thinking. You got to put the work in it. For example, like I'm doing the podcasts. I also have to do it and improve myself in things of motivation, because basically my podcasts are about motivation, about life. So I need to read books. I need to get knowledge about how to record and everything. And that's what I exactly told this guy. You have to do the same just with that what you do, like I said before. And then he said, yeah, well, you are not wrong actually, but where should I begin? And I said, look, somewhere. I mean, if it only starts by writing some bars a day. For the people who don't know what a bar is, basically in rap it is a line you write on the paper. That would be a bar. And he said, well, that's a good idea. And then I said, look, start with this. Write some bars every day. That's the important thing. If you have a goal, do it every day. I mean, I told him after that, this does not mean, let's take my example now, that I record a podcast every day because, I just don't want to do it every day and I want to give it a break. And he said, well, that's actually cool. And I said, look, like I said, you got to do it every day. Do something every day. Something about this topic. Learn something from it every day or do it every day, because then you get the kind of momentum that you have. And also a thing that I said, don't expect that you will be famous tomorrow or one day after you did something, because that won't work. For me, for example, I made about let's say 30 videos or podcasts on YouTube, SoundCloud, and now I'm starting with Anchor. And I said, still, I don't have a lot of people that watch it, but I kind of grow, but I do it slow. And this is something I learned from a book, which said, look, if you want it, you have to go the slow way. You have to go the hard way. I mean, hard is a word we can talk about, but you have to go the slow way. Because what this guy in this book was talking about, there are a lot of people who fall into the trap of getting fast money. But that's not the way you should do it. And actually, going the fast way isn't something good. Like I said, it's a trap. And this comes with something very negative. For example, if you look at those online programs that tell you can earn 70,000 a month if you follow this method and start right today. This is something, keep your hands off that. I don't have experience with it, so I don't want to talk shit about it, but I just tell you, keep your hands off it. And this is also what the author of the book told me as I read it. And I know the author of the book, actually the two authors of the book, they are people I trust, people I can relate to, people who made it. And they said it, and that's why I believe it. I don't believe everything that I read, same as the news, but those are people who I trust. This is a good example. And like I said, go the slow way. Like I'm doing a podcast after podcast and maybe not getting a lot of views. Sometimes I didn't even get 10 views, just with 6 around it or so. But then there are other podcasts, or actually my series 11 Questions, who does pretty good because I connect with the people. And this is what you want to do. I said to him, look, write rap every day, maybe upload some rap. Definitely if you type in rap in YouTube, you definitely get a much larger viewer base, because music is something that everybody on this world is interested in, in some relation. Everybody has listened to music, not everybody with podcasts. So I said to him, why are you complaining? Just do it. This is your passion. This is what you want, your purpose of life. And well, actually, I kind of drifted off the main question now, what is the purpose of life? But I just thought this is pretty interesting to look at. You kind of have to get a way of thinking to kind of go it slow. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people of you like me doing regular work, like, having a job. But what is his name? Goddamn. Peterson was his last name. John, hold on, I have a book. Exactly, Jordan Peterson. And he said everything after 8 hours of work is really working. 8 hours of working is just survival until 8 hours. And that's also what I said to him. And he was like, what? If I come home, I am tired, I don't want to work. Then I said, look, you have to. This is your dream. This is what you want to make your purpose. Like I said, if my purpose of life is doing something you love and get happy with it, then this is your job. This is your second job. And this is how I am seeing my stuff right now. Well, and the conversation was pretty funny because in every point I told him, he said, well, you are actually right. And then I said, why you not gonna do it? Well, it's easy as that. And I mean, just look, if you, hold on, here we go. Now, if you keep doing what you love, you will be much happier in life because you do that what you love. Just had a quick sip of water. This is what you love to do, and this is what makes you happy. So why wouldn't you do that? For example, if somebody loves to do sports, yeah, well, guess what he's doing? He's doing sports because he loves it. And clearly you can't just go to the gym one day and expect a big bicep the next day. And this is probably a good example. You have to work hard for it, and it is a slow way. Clearly that's the way with steroids and testosterone and everything. But let's not focus on that because this will be the fast way. And like I said, this is a little trap because it comes to something negative. And in this case, with this example with sports, it would be, your health. It's not good for your health. And this is what I meant with saying don't go the fast way. Choose the slow way, choose to learn, and do that. Because in the end, your results will be much bigger and you will be more happy because you say, look, I never cheated on myself. I have my purpose. This is what I want to do. And this is what I'm going for. No fast way. In this book, again, I have to go for the book. It said, there are no shortcuts in life. I mean, there are some, but they are not good. These are traps. You will walk in the trap and won't come out of there. Or maybe you come out of there with a blue eye. So, I just can't repeat it. Choose the slow way. Because this will give you more energy. This is where you learn going into a process. And this process will get you ahead. And the very nice thing is, after you do it some months, you can look back. Like, for example, I'm doing this 4 or 5 months now. So I'm still in developing. But when I look back, I'm like, I did some improvement. If these are the pictures on Instagram that I do, if these are the podcasts itself, the presentation and everything, it kind of evolves. Clearly it is slow, but this doesn't hold me from stopping it, Like I said before, with the views on YouTube, don't go by that. It would be the same if you just focus on the money. If you do this because of the money, stop it. You won't succeed. I mean, money can be motivation, but my main motivation is to show people that there is another way, that you can live your dreams, that it is possible if you choose the slow and hard way again. I mean, not everybody wants to hear that. If I tell that somebody who doesn't know me, who's not related to me, he doesn't have the same way of thinking as me. My friends kind of developed the thinking because I kind of infected them with this. But if somebody says, look, I don't want to go this way. I just want to do my work. And then, that's it. And I say, come on, this can't be your purpose in life. And when you're asking about their dreams, you hear something like, you just hear excuses, like it's not possible. Circumstances, like I told you before. You choose your path of life. And when I die, I want to have a positive impact on this world. I want people to change. I want people to see the bigger picture. I want people to see the happy side of life. That not everything is about working and doing that what you don't like. Because in the end of the day, it is your life. You only have one life. I get it in your head. Because, look, just because our society says you have to work, you have to go to school, you have to study, This doesn't mean that you have to do it. Life itself is something unlimited. There are no limits. Look, if you say, look, I want to do, I heard this on TED Talk. There was a guy who was kind of traveling around the world with nothing. And he was kind of helping the people on the farms in the third world countries, and through that earning some money and going to the next country. So he chose it to do. And like I said, this is what I learned from him. He said, your life is unlimited. You can do what you want if it's not illegal. I mean, clearly you can do it, but there is law. This is something powerful. Don't go against that. But as I said, you can do what you want. You only have one life. And you got to make sure that on the end of your life, you say, look, I'm happy. I'm dying happy. I had my life. I lived what I loved. And this is the purpose of life. See the bigger picture. That's about it. The mass of the people doesn't see that. And if they die, they then try to give you life advice. Or the old people, they give you life advice, and then they say something like, do what you love or something, But then for them it is too late. They discovered it too late, because then, like I said, it is too late for them. Like I said, don't believe everything that you hear and read, because you never know where this comes from. But if you have the determined mind to go for it, to do your dreams, that there is a word for it. Hold on, how is it? A go-getter, exactly. Be a go-getter. Get it, because this is your life. Even if the circumstances are hard, the result will be good. It is like, I have to take the example again, guys. Sorry for repeating myself, but really, if you go to the gym, you also will have pain because you train hard. So these are also bad circumstances, but for me in sports, I'm at the point where I say I love the pain, and this is what you gotta do. You gotta, as this guy in the book said, again, he said, turn shit to sugar. See the positive things in the negative circumstances that you are in right now. Make the best out of it. It requires some work, yes it does. But the result will be worth it. If you really want something, and if you love doing it, I don't see any obstacle for anybody, because I know everybody will make it if he evolves in that what he loves. It's easy as that. I know everybody can do it, but not everybody is willing to do the work, And this is actually with the trap thing that I said. They then get for the fast money because, they want it, but, then they, at some point it goes downward, and then they don't know along. And another thing is also, people sometimes don't even find their passion because they don't try things. Or they have, which is a pretty much a big problem in our society, is something like social anxiety. Which is, I don't want to talk about this too much now, but let me just give you a quick tip. By making experience, so let's say you have social anxiety, what you got to do is not sit at home and wait till it goes away. You have to go outside and deal with people. Talk with them, and your social anxiety will kind of fly away. It will fade away because you learn working against it. For example, if you are scared of height, then go how do you call it in English? Skydiving, I guess, or parachuting. And after that, you think, well, I just defeated the fear of mine. That's it. Fear is a big problem that we have, but you have to overcome the fear. For example, when I started, I was not sure, do I really want to expose myself with these podcasts into the internet, into the public? And I said, look, this is what I love. My goal is to like I said, show people another way. And for that, I had to expose myself. And kind of doing this after the month, the last month, I kind of learned to ignore that. It's not a problem anymore. And the same with the social anxiety thing. Go out and deal with it. Push the problem out of your way and complete your life. fulfill it. Make sure you are happy when you die one day. And no matter how the circumstances are, you can do it. You just have to keep going. Because there's also something that when people start something finally, they do it for 1 or 2 months and then they stop it because, then they get tired of it or something. But this is the thing where you got to keep going and build up a momentum. I remember, on some Saturdays when I was doing a podcast with Max from One Rap Worldwide, I also wasn't every time on full level and gave 100% energy to it. But I said, look, this is what I want to do, so I got to do it. And now I have momentum again and are still doing podcasts. And this is what gives me life. This is what makes me happy, and I know I'm helping people with it because I'm getting positive response from it, but also negative response because I can get criticism and, like I said, turn shit into sugar. Take the criticism and turn it into something positive. That's it. So, like I said, guys, we are already on 21 minutes. I'm gotta go now, and like I said, look, live the life you want. Not that others want, live the life that you want, and I promise you will live a happy life and work on it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. That was my freestyle podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope. Please, if you have something that you would like to tell me, write it down in the comments. I'm really in for that. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook if you want. I'm all over there. And yeah, like I said, don't bother writing me, that's not a problem. And yeah, guys, make sure you follow these rules. Live a happy life. Street to Victory is out.